you know what? Mary and I's relationship was just a whole lot of what people call F and F, which is the second word is fight. Sometimes the first word is fight. Basically, all we did was fuck and fight. But the problem with that is that you don't get this deep emotional connection. You just end up deep inside her, and all you get is orgasms. We thought we had heard all of Kody's greatest lines already in the previews, but this
he's quite the
takes
poet.
The cake. Oh my God.
Fuck and fight and fuck? Like, what? I've never heard this term before.
But how many times have I said that Kody loved to do wrestling with Meri? Like, he loved her to put on a singlet, get those broad shoulders out on the mat, and they would just fight and fuck.
He just took out all of her, like, I hate spearmint on her in the bedroom.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, I'll give you some fucking spearmint, bitch.
It's like, you nag me all day long. It's time for me to take you to pound down. Wow. So Janelle only likes him for his abs and hot body. He's just a piece of meat to her. Meri only likes to fight and fuck.
Yeah. But the only thing you get out of that is orgasms.
Wow. Sometimes
I have to say,
he's so delusional.
I know that like we all hate Meri. and I need to say this for everyone who's going on TikTok and Instagram and like cheering around Meri when she's doing these reels, you're not a real friend, because what you should be doing is saying, girl, this is embarrassing. You need to stop.
It's so embarrassing.
And if you find yourself actually laughing at these, you need to look inward and be like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know, like, why am I laughing at this?
The newest one of like, these hoes ain't loyal. And she's like,
oh yeah,
weird
doing
faces.
all sexy
like,
faces.
What's wrong with you?
So embarrassing.
She's not funny.
No.
It's not landing.
No.
Like she thinks.
I honestly feel like I would rather her go back to her Mel Robbins routine than this. You know,
take the high
go
road.
back to Worthy Up, please.
I thought that's what we were doing. Instead, she's like, you know what? I'm going to be petty like Christine, but it's not funny.
It's so embarrassing. And there's too many people out there supporting it. Now, unless you're doing it as a joke to support it so that it continues on, that's okay. But I've been seeing people in private spaces say like, am I the only one enjoying Meri's new Instagram personality?
Really?
Not me.
People are saying that?
Yes, Caitlin, they're saying that.
Yeah. Your parents laughed at you too much.
Yeah. I definitely just want to fight.
I think as good friends to Meri, we need to not laugh at it so it doesn't continue. She needs, she needs help right now.
I actually felt bad for her this episode. The amount of times that Kody just like, he's like, it's for the first time ever, I'm actually liking you. She's like, oh, awesome. Great.
I did feel bad for her too, but at the same time, I was like, were you never picking up on the fact that he hated you? Because it's pretty clear.
It's pretty damn clear. But I do think he's changed the narrative.
You're right. Because you go back and it's like, he did have fun with Meri. He did like Meri.
I feel like he had more fun with Meri than anyone else.
He did.
Until Robyn came along. I think, it's just.
Meri was the love of his life.
She sat there in that room of chairs because that room has 8 million spots to sit. For someone who never has company, there's a lot of places to sit in that room.
She's still kind of doing like the bankruptcy attorney's office.
It's those chairs.
Yeah, I know. She loves like a setup of a waiting room.
She loves an uncomfortable seating area. Like it's like
come into my seating area. Nothing is comfortable. Take your pick.
Every single thing in that room was like uncomfortable thing to sit on. It like you had to sit up straight and you could never like really get into it.
Gonna put those couches in the redone Lizzie's.
Oh, maybe that's
she
part
needs
of the
a banquet space.
Yes, I think she's gonna do a nice banquet space.
Okay.
Honestly, that would be reason enough for us to renew our vows there.
Yeah.
Why don't we just renew our vows?
Couch,
yeah,
because it's the kiss of death.
Oh, that's right.
We'll divorce after that.
That's true. So, anyways, I thought I was feeling bad for Meri.
I know. I kind of was too. And also, Kody's so delusional. Like the fact that he can sit there and look at her and say some of these things, and like, what's wrong with you as a person that you're like, you can say this to her face, someone you married and have been married to for like 30 years.
The fact that he sat there and he said to Meri, I told you I'm willing to pretend. And he was like, that's the solution. I'm willing to fake this shit for you. All right. And he's like, what more do you want from me? I already said I'm willing to fake it for you. Okay. And in his mind, he's like, God, I've offered her everything.
That was shocking.
I've given this woman
I feel like
everything.
She was like, are you hearing what's coming out of your mouth? And I was thinking the same thing. Like, you really think that's like okay to say to someone?
There's a level of delusion happening here that is just mind-blowing.
Again, what is wrong with Kody? Like, can someone please? I know we're not supposed to diagnose people, but what's happening?
Oh, I'll diagnose.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
What is it?
Psycho?
Do you have delusional disorder?
I think he's
Is that
got
a thing?
Yeah, I think he's got delusion disorder, psychotic
Oblivion or disorder.
Oblivion disorder. He's got a lot of disorders for
Okay.
sure. I'm not sure they're all within the I know it's not called the BDSM-5, but might as well.
What?
There's a thing where they put all the diagnoses. They put all the diagnoses in a BDSM-5. It's the book is called, but it's not called that, but it's the closest I can get.
All right.
Yeah, the BDSM-5.
Never heard it before.
Yeah, well, listen. I want to put a warning out there. Not even a warning. I want to preface this episode by saying, yes, I am happy for Christine and David. But am I going to make fun of this situation to no end? Yes. So I've said it. I'm happy for them. I'm so glad they have found each other. But for fuck's sake, I hate it. I hate
I've got some beef with Christine as well.
I have never felt more uncomfortable watching someone live their life on TV. Like I could feel myself just like sinking into the couch.
I felt like my neck was getting red, and I don't even have that.
Yeah. No, my whole face was red. My neck was red. My balls were red. Everything was red on me. It was just, hey, baby.
Okay, let's not get there yet.
Okay, sorry.
Wait, skip ahead.
Shoot my load because I'm just thinking about fighting and fucking. Yeah,
Is that what he was doing with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. That was kind of his thing.
And that's
All
why
we do is
Christine
fight.
was like, I just want to make love. And he's like, we're going to fight
I want
and fuck.
intimacy.
Oh, yeah. Season 19, episode 6. He delivered me from all my fears. I don't even know what that.
Where did that even come from?
Well, I think it came from
Christine?
the Bible.
Okay.
Everyone says that they come from the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Not the BDSM-5. This is from just the
right,
regular
the Bible. Okay.
New Testament,
All right.
Old Testament. I don't know where in the Bible. I don't know if this is John,
We're not
Luke
caught
13,
up on this quote. Okay.
3:13 or 6:13 or whatever the fuck the quote is. I don't know, but this is probably somewhere in the Bible.
Okay.
We start speaking of Bible, start the episode off at Christmas. And I, right from the get-go, I have to say this and I need to point it out. And I know everyone missed it. When we are at Kody and Robyn's house for Christmas morning, Awoa, who, like first thing you wake up in the morning, like, it's not like you're doing a lot.
No.
She has an ankle brace on.
An ankle brace.
An ankle brace on. And I have never been able to perfectly sum up Awoa's personality than her on Christmas morning wearing her ankle brace. And the only thing that would have made this better was watching her limp up the stairs and then limp over to the couch.
Or for Kody to carry her.
Yeah, Kody had to carry her up again.
Oh my God, she's a brace girl.
Yes.
She loves a knee brace over a jean. She loves an ankle brace.
Honestly, if she had a knee brace, she would have put it over her pajama pants.
Oh my gosh, she would have.
She would have
she loves a brace.
She got up first thing in the morning. It's like, I need to put my ankle brace on. And then she limped up the stairs and then she limped to the couch. And honestly, I bet Kody had to bring her breakfast plate to her on the couch because she's like, it's really hurting, Daddy.
She hardly trips down the stairs. She's like, I think I need an ankle brace.
Oh, honestly, I feel like it was like walking up their steep driveway. She's like, oh, my ankle. Oh, my ankle. And I was just like, She would.
That is the perfect.
Mckelty and Awoa and me are all the same person.
Did you ever wear a brace?
Oh, I loved a brace.
Okay.
I loved a brace. I loved the attention that came with the brace.
We have a niece right now that's really into the tape.
Yes, doing a lot of
all
tape.
Of a sudden there's something taped all the time. It's like, what's happening?
Okay, when we're at Robyn's for Christmas, this is what blew me away. Thinking about how many gifts there are for all of Robyn's kids, and I'm like, do you think that Kody bought one gift for any child outside of his with Robyn?
No, unless he is already set up to see Truly.
Okay.
At some point, Robyn bought the gift.
How sad.
Truly.
I completely forgot Truly. I was thinking, I bet Savannah. And honestly, actually, no. I bet Savannah. He didn't get Truly one. I think if anyone, Savannah.
No, he did not.
You don't think
I
so?
haven't seen Savannah in a year.
Well, I don't know if he just went on Amazon and sent it directly to her.
No way. No way. If anybody truly, and it's Robyn got the gift.
What's that lunchbox place called?
Box lunch or
Box
something.
lunch. That's Kody was not about to go in there.
No, he wasn't. But Robyn didn't even get anything she would like.
No, she got her like a
floral top from Kohl's, and Truly's like, I only shop at Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And box lunch.
Yeah. That's where I like to spend my time. Also finding out that Kody stays up late and wraps presents with Robyn.
He never did that with anyone else. I can tell you that right now.
Never. He's like, oh yeah, Robyn likes
that's
them all
a woman's
wrapped up.
job to wrap the gifts before. Yeah. That's what he said with all the other ones.
Coming over and
although Janelle never wrapped a gift.
No.
Are we being honest?
No. I will say, like, if ever I get to a point where I am rich in life, I would pay someone to wrap the gifts that I have to wrap.
Same.
I
love a wrapped gift. It's so beautiful, but it's a pain.
I honestly take the wrapping paper and I put the gift in it and then I just ring it up at the top.
You do kind of a candy look?
Yep, a candy look. That's as good as I can do. It's awful.
Yeah, I'm a Janelle. I'd prefer if we just leave them all unwrapped.
I hope that Lola falls down those stairs. The fucking ankle brace.
She's gonna put a neck brace on pretty soon.
Oh, for sure. And it's honestly, I bet you she was like, oh, I can't even sing this week at church. What sock has a hole for your foot to come out? What sock is that? Tell me. No, she had an ankle brace on.
I love that.
And I know that we didn't get footage of her limping, but I saw her limping.
Well, she never got up because she couldn't.
Because she couldn't. No. No. What's his name? Solomon was up there beat bopping around, taking punches at her. And I was like, just slug her.
She was also wearing the pajamas of like a 60-year-old woman.
Yes.
Right?
There was a lot of pajamas in this family.
But her pajamas especially. Yeah. Like it was exactly what you get from Marshall's for your aunt. You know?
Over in Salt Lake, they are once again making us go inside Tony and Mckelty's house to see their floating bookshelves. I am done. I honestly, I'm not watching the show anymore.
I don't want to watch the Mckelty show anymore.
No.
She is taking on such a like producer role. Do you notice?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When they're at Christine's house, she's like asking the questions and she's like transitioning.
I honestly felt like,
did they pay her like to be on staff?
It is so crazy to me because I am going absolutely nuts. I feel like Tony and Mckelty have a word count that every day they feel like they have to hit. The two of them can shut the fuck up. And I'm sure that's how people feel about me when we're doing this podcast. They're like, God, did he ever shut up?
I know. I'm like, let's get some more Aspen.
Please.
And Mitch. Let's get some more Jezebel.
Anybody.
I'll take more Truly at this point.
Honestly, at this point, I would take more Mary.
Seriously.
Than Mckelty. I cannot do anymore.
We're done with the Mckelty and Tony show. It's both of them.
Yeah.
It's not just Mckelty. Tony's just as guilty.
Now, I've never gotten you a bobblehead gift.
No.
I thought that was an interesting...
It was a gift. I mean, it was interesting. Was it supposed to look like her?
I think so. I think
her as a bobblehead?
Well, you know, I'm sure it was more like one of those places where you just kind of like put in your details, like blonde hair.
Yeah.
Because the hair didn't go to the ground. When she opened it, I legit thought it was going to be Rapunzel. I was like, oh, that's tangled right there. Yeah. I thought that's sure gonna be her.
Yeah,
but unfortunately it wasn't.
Thank you so much. Let me put this in the trash.
North Carolina, we're with Maddie and Janelle and Savannah and the whole family. And this is Janelle's first holiday as a single dad. She's like, normally, you know, I don't normally help with any of this stuff. And so I'm like having to
look up recipes, figure out how they made it. Like I never participated in the kitchen.
And where's St. Lucia's Day? That's never again. We're never doing that shit again. Oh, what was once a family tradition is now dead. It's just done. But I love that Janelle was like, I honestly have never helped with this shit before. Holy cow.
Like, didn't realize how much work Christine was doing.
Wow. God, it's a lot. I'm just overwhelmed. The most sad part of this Christmas. Now, Christmas is not something that should make you sad. It should make you happy. You know, you should be happy with Christmas. But why Mary over with Amber and Lisa? And Lisa was
Mary being like, yeah, I'm not celebrating with Kody and Robyn. I'm going to people who actually care about me. I'm like, and you had to dig deep down
my
to find
old babysitter. My old
someone
babysitter Lisa and her daughter Amber. honestly, they've had a really tough year, and so I thought I could intrude on them. I'm like, did Lisa's husband just die this year?
Did
and they
she
were like,
go down the list of people like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Until someone was like, what are you doing back? And she's like, nothing. And they're like, you can come here.
Well, she sat there and she said, first of all, I love that she acted like Kody is, I bet Kody's missing me right now, wishing I was there for Christmas.
I don't think
Wrong. He's not missing you one bit. But then she's like, it's just, she's sitting there and
it was such a sad self-filming moment that it was like, they're like, let's all gather here on the couch.
Let's cheers six times.
And the future's so bright. I have to wear glasses.
I have to wear shades.
I was
oh my God.
This is the most sad, embarrassing thing I've ever seen. And honestly, like
she said, I don't want to spend the holidays with people who don't care about me. And she ended up here. Not even Leon.
And this is the sad thing. I am fully understanding if people like have no one to spend the holidays with or they don't want to spend the holidays with anyone. But Meri has this entire huge family and there's like not one person from the family.
Meri has so many people in her downline that she could intrude on.
Instead, she had to find her old babysitter. Like we've never
Lisa. And my theory is Lisa's husband, Amber's dad, died this year.
Okay.
And they've been so sad. And Meri was like, well, why don't I come over and cook a turkey for you and make it fun? I'll make it fun. And they were like, okay, that would be nice. Like they were like, we weren't planning on celebrating. She's like, I'll decorate. I'll put up the tree. I'll make the hot chocolate. We can cheers. I really feel like they were at a low point in their life. And that's why they were like, sure.
A low point to spend the Christmas.
Sure, Meri, why don't you come on over?
Like, do you think Leon said no, thank you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was even a.
I'm just
option.
like, there's so many people in this family, and she didn't get invited to one of their celebrations.
I think that Meri called Leon and was like, "Hey, Leon, it's me, Mom. Just wondering what you're doing for the holidays." And
Lisa and Amber invited me, but I'd much rather spend it with you if you'd have me.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Okay.
Lisa and Amber are great.
Yeah, I love that. love that.
I haven't seen them in 10 years, but I would love to catch up.
This episode was the episode of jump scare confessionals because we have Janelle when she's like vibrant, she's glowing, her hair's kind of like up, and then it immediately cuts to Janelle when her hair's sad and disheveled, like
and the lighting's dull. It's
yes, and then we have Kody where he's got tight, crunchy curls, and then cuts right to the soft curls.
Flower.
Not even putting a clip in between.
No,
they're just like, honestly, who gives a
They're
fuck?
like, no one will notice. I'm like, oh, we do notice.
It's hard not to notice.
And if you didn't notice, you're not very observant.
You're not very observant. I'll say that.
I'm sorry.
All right, we got to talk about Christine and David. And as much as it pains me to do this, we have to. We get this episode. We get confessionals from Aspen, Jezebel, and Peyton, and David and Christine.
Yeah, I know. They got everyone in that bookshelf.
Oh,
room.
wow. They were like, come on down.
Get down in the basement. We've got a spot for you. And can they fix the lighting in there? It's so terrible. Have you noticed?
Yes.
It's too bright.
Yep.
It's like like Aspen and Jezebel. You couldn't even like see their features on their face. No, it was like, okay, why are we doing that?
It's not.
Is it to help with Christine's wrinkles?
Probably.
She's the only one who looks decent.
Well, it's her setup.
She's like, don't touch my lights.
And honestly, I would imagine that they just leave a memory card there, a camera on a tripod, and a mic, and they're like, just set it up yourself. Whenever you want to go record something, just go down there. It's
You're right.
It's like on The Real World how they would
believe that, except for sometimes the producers talk to them and ask questions.
They say, put up your phone and we'll talk to you on FaceTime. And honestly, they're probably they're going through a drive-through. And they're like, oh, and what'd you think about David's big dick? Do you like that?
I'll have 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah. For this family meeting, we have Aspen, Mitch, Mckelty, Tony, their little children, Archer, Ace, Toyota Avalon, Jezebel, and Truly.
And Peyton. Yeah.
Can't forget Peyton.
This was my favorite part of this whole thing. So Aspen and Mitch come in and they're like, so do we want to talk about stuff before Truly gets here?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And then we get nothing before Truly gets there. And then Truly gets there and we're just talking about everything in front of her. I was like, what was the point of that?
I just felt like...
I feel like Truly knows everything anyways, more than anyone else knows. She's like, I've hung out with David like 50 times.
Truly's a lurker, like much like I was as a child. Like you're lurking, you hear it all. Even though they don't see you, you see them.
She knows it all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's reading her book under the table. Like she's there. You may forgot, but
she's in
there.
the back seat when they're making out. She's like, hey.
Yeah, she's like, hey, you guys gonna drop me off or what? Now, there was a moment this episode, which, we've never had confirmation about Truly and if she's neurodivergent, if she's on the spectrum or what. But you pointed out, you were like, oh, how she's sitting, that's how a lot of neurodivergent people sit.
Someone said that to you once.
Pan to me sitting on the couch in the same way. And I was
or
like,
it's like an ADHD thing.
I'm like,
something.
oh God,
I mean,
okay.
That is neurodivergent.
Yeah, I was cracking up that you pointed out as I'm sitting on the couch next to you in the same style.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but someone pointed it out about you, how you sit. And you're always in a pretzel.
So yeah, Tony and Mckelty are really our producers during this.
They've set this whole scene up.
Yes, and it's just like every time they talk, it's like, what do you've dated 8 people, not double digits yet. It's like, oh, he told you he loves you first. I'm like, why are the reactions so big?
Also, Christina's so annoying. Like when she was like, yeah, I said I love you after a week. Oh, I was gonna have a high five you, and Mckelty just missed that.
Christine's
I was like,
living room setup is driving me nuts because I've seen the layout. This is not how it's supposed to be set up.
No.
The TV is meant to be either on the wall behind them or on the fireplace, over the fireplace. That's where the TV is supposed to go. I don't know if there's not a TV in this room or what, but it's set up all wrong. It's not set up the way it's the fact that they're sitting and when you open the front door, you see right into them. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. It drove me nuts. I'm like, no. The couch is supposed to be back over this way, flipped around
in the room a little bit more.
Yes.
Okay. Instead, she opened it up.
Because
she wants to host 100
open
people
concept,
in a small
and
house.
it was just a little too open. A little too open. It was driving me nuts.
And then Mckelty, like, okay, Truly, as the producer, I'd like to ask you honest question. What do you think about David?
Honest, can you answer me, Truly? What's the question? What do you want from me? And she was like, oh, wow.
There's a lot of Truly stands, but every time I'm just like, girl, I think we keep you off TV for a while,
Well, honestly,
I think you're going to be sad you participated in a few years. No, she's good with it.
No, because I think this is who Truly's going to be in 30 years. She's going to be the same person. Truly ain't changing. And I applaud as someone who is so wildly insecure.
Yeah,
I applaud Truly because I could never.
Yeah,
you're
right.
I'm like,
she's cool with looking like a total weirdo.
Oh yeah,
she like leans in.
I'm a total fucking weirdo, but you put me on a camera. Well, not here, but like if I get to go on Sister Wives or something,
you're gonna be like, hi. You're gonna be Mckelty.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting straighter than Gwen. I'm gonna be sitting straight up because I'm like, I don't want them to see me as I am. Yes. So I applaud her for that. Now, here's what I thought was so interesting. So Mckelty's like, oh, I really liked him. I let him hold my kids. I don't let everyone. I'm like, ugh.
I feel like she'd hand her kid off to
anyone. And honestly, I'm not picking them up. I don't want to hold those kids. Even the one named after me, I don't want to hold them. No. Her kids just seem like biters.
Yeah.
We got the nudie cuddle situation. They just seem like they're rough and they bite. I'm not into that.
I feel like it's a constant wrestling ring over there.
But go back in time on Sister Wives. When Tony sits there and he talks to Caleb about all the tragic stuff that's been happening in his life, how he lost his brother-in-law, he lost his mom about 2 days before. And Tony's reaction is to laugh. And he's like, yikes, wow. Then fast forward to now. And he's like, yeah, I love that he survived. And they're like, survive? What the fuck do you mean?
What do you mean? He's like, David, his wife died and he survived. He had 8 kids and he...
No. He says he survived and his wife left him 8 kids. I'm like, first of all, that's not how we should be talking about it. He's like, and he never got addicted to drugs or gambling.
And this was almost as like delusional as Kody is speaking. Like, I was like, where did this come from?
Out of left fucking field.
Which made me think like, okay, I don't want to like say that Tony's doing drugs.
Right.
But he does like look, his eyes are like, they're scary.
It wouldn't shock me.
But then like, why does your head first go to a gambling addiction or drugs just because he had to raise 8 kids on his own? I'm like, Tony, are you dipping into something?
Well, I'm,
do you have a gambling addiction?
I'm shocked he wasn't just addicted to porn, jerking off every day. Hasn't gotten tail in a while.
Like, who says that about like?
But why are you saying it with a huge smile too?
He's so
weird. Like, his wife died, left him alone with 8 kids. Huge smile on his face. Tony, like, what do you not? Does your nothing connect to each other? You're so.
And then he follows it up with, I like him. Reminds me of Kody.
And then
Christine's
Mckelty's expand on that. Expand on that. He's like,
Christine's I purposely wanted a bald guy with tattoos who rides a motorcycle because I don't want to be like Kody. And now you're saying he reminds me of Kody?
Christine to write a review for her matchmaker because she met David on a dating app herself.
Yeah.
She went on dates with these other guys. One guy who was way too religious for her. And
when he found out about the polygamy, he was like, we're done.
Absolutely not. The second guy was like, I've never even heard of polygamy. So his mind was fucking blown. I'm like, who's this matchmaker?
Doesn't a matchmaker kind of set the scene for the people? Like,
you would think
the matchmaker would be like, hey, are you open to this? She's been in this kind of a relationship.
Yes.
But she doesn't want it anymore. Like, yeah, she hired someone cheap.
They
weren't good. Yeah. That's why she's fine letting the other ones expire.
Janelle got her a Groupon. Finding out that, David and Grandma Annie are both boomers together. I didn't care for the boomer conversation or the Gen X conversation.
No, but I've never seen Kody more excited than he was talking about
Duran. I don't even know who Duran. We saw Kody more broken up about Sonny and Cher's divorce than any of his divorces. He was like,
he's like a psychopath.
It ripped me apart seeing Sonny and Cher.
I'm like, it doesn't rip you apart that your kids don't talk to you, but it ripped you apart that Sonny and Cher are divorced.
Yes. And it's like, your kids don't talk to you. You're divorced. No one likes you. No one talks to you. The whole world hates you.
Like, he's like, there's something really off about him.
Him and Tony. They're both not connecting things. Things are misfiring in their brains. I'm just like, and Mary being like, oh, I love the 80s. Turn on 80s music. That's my jam. Like, that's why your hair fucking looks like that 80s. Still.
It's so crunchy. I thought it got better, but now watching him, like, unless it got better, like.
No, and I'll say this. This is probably mean to say, but, it's part of the job.
We're mean here.
We're not mean. We're observant.
Okay.
It's
fact.
It's fact. The fact is that, Mary's obviously on the Ozempic, and that's fine. I am too. Mm-hmm. But she needs to now change the hair because the hair is really mushrooming on her skinnier face.
Oh, like she did her hair big to distract before. Yes. And now it's like, okay, you can calm it down.
Yes. Cause like in her most recent funny, hilarious Instagram videos, I'm like, oh, that's a real mushroom hair. Top.
Yeah. It's getting real Karen-y.
Yeah. Like
it's too much poof, poof.
Way too much poof. Way too much.
Poof it down.
Poof.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jezebel's the only one who's a little leary about the situation.
It seems like you're my kid that's taking it the hardest. She's like, I'm not taking it hard. It's just been like 1 week and you're already marrying him.
Yeah, like, I think that's kind of, poor Jezebel. I didn't realize what a nervous child she was.
I know.
She was like, no, like it's like what? No, like it's totally like, oh no, like I'm actually like so happy with the way you guys are doing things. Yeah. I'm like so happy about it.
She's like, it's not that I don't like him or anything. It just seems like it's really fast and I just have to get used to it. And I'm like, I am totally on her side because it's be weird to have to, first of all, go from a plural family, then have your parents divorced, then like you don't even speak to your, like, just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And Christine is
like, a lot to process.
I don't care. I was like,
the fact that Christine was like, listen, I want to know how my kids feel, but is it going to change anything? Absolutely not. I fucking love David.
And then when they're talking about the PDA, she's like, sorry if it makes you uncomfortable. We're not going to stop. I was like, that's kind of.
I'm actually going to give him a hand job when he gets over here today. You guys all want to see? And Truly's like, I'd like to see that.
Truly's definitely heard him fucking before.
Oh,
that's all I have to say.
When she opened that door for David, you said, you're like, I know exactly how Christine fucks. And that was the most accurate statement I've ever heard.
Oh, well, okay. You're skipping ahead again. You're skipping ahead again. Back to Jezebel.
Back to Jezebel.
Team Jezebel, because she is moving way too fast. Yes. She literally just met him. How long have her and Kody been divorced at this point? Like, when did she leave Flagstaff? 6 months? She's been dating for 6 months.
Who knows?
And now we're just like basically getting married to David and making out with him in front of the kids. And for Christine to say, I don't care what my kids think, I was like, you're kind of shitty.
Here's the thing. And I said this last season.
She deserves to be happy, but you also
I think that she's in her selfish season.
She is.
She's in her selfish era.
For sure.
She is like, I feel like she's like, I sacrificed so much for so long. And yes, that's true. But at the same time, like, you still have Truly at home. You still have Jezebel coming back. Like,
well, that's the thing. They weren't asking her to not date him. They're just like, could you maybe take it a little slower when we're around? Can we not have you making out? It's not that hard.
Do you
like,
have to straddle him when we're just watching a show together?
Yeah, when we come over for American Idol nights, like, can you guys not sit on each other's laps?
When
like,
we're all watching Game of Thrones, do you have to say to David, I want you to fuck me like that dragon fucks the princess or whatever? I've never seen Game of Thrones, but that's my assumption.
I don't even know if there's
Can
dragons.
you fuck me like the siblings fuck, you know? And they're like, Mom, please. Like,
I was like, it's not that hard
God.
to take it a bit slower, Christine. They're not saying they don't like him. They're not saying no. Like, just come on.
And you know, she's probably she's driving Truly somewhere and she's on the phone like, oh, I wish you were here right now.
She's like sexting, doing talk to text, but it's a sext. Yeah.
Siri, please write, oh, David, I want that woolly mammoth inside of me right now. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, send. And Truly's like, what the fuck, Mom? Seriously? Like, that's
she's
disgusting.
Never listening. I feel like you could do anything in front of Truly and she'd never hear you. But then here comes Mommy Aspen.
Yeah.
She's like, you know what? Aspen or Jezebel, it's totally fine that you think it's moving too fast. That's it. You are allowed to feel that way. I was like, thank you that some mom cares, you know?
And then Peyton, which I always just hate Peyton so much. He's like, you know, Mom,
he's a mini Kody.
The way that he talks, it's a perfect mix of Christine and Kody. And he's like, Mom, Mother, the reason just us saying that you're moving quickly is simply just an observation. It's not saying that you need to stop or you need to slow down. It's just simply us observing what it is you are doing. And she's like, well, good, because me and David are gonna fuck right here on this couch.
Can I say something really mean?
Is it about his mohawk? Because we're in 2024. I'm sure these confessionals were filmed last week. And the fact that this man is still sporting a mohawk in his confessionals,
not that, but that is true. But that's not even mean.
Okay.
He's got the worst parts of Kody and Christine.
Yep.
Put together.
Yep.
You know?
So does Gwen.
Yeah.
They just two hate each other, just like I hate Mckelty, because they're the same.
They're exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
And they each got the features of their parents that I do not like. Personality wise.
Yeah. Also, he's got very red face.
Yeah. He always looks chapped
sunburned.
from but like chapped from cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The sun was shining, but it was freezing out and there was a lot of wind.
It's like always a little frostbitten.
Yep. Lips are always very chapped. For sure.
He'd benefit from a jar of Aquaphor.
Oh my, more than
he likes lube, so he should get
it. You know, I was buying a personal lubricant. He's so disgusting.
He really is.
And it doesn't help that he's so fucking tall.
I know.
You know, it's like you take up even more space.
He's just weird. God. I also think when I was watching this scene, I was like, I wonder what it feels like to be Gwen. And it's like your whole family gets together all the time and you're always left out.
Well, she's busy getting hit by cars on a bike. It's true, though.
It's like Mary didn't have Christmas with anyone, but also Gwen wasn't at anyone's Christmas either.
I think her and B went to the Olive Garden.
Okay. I hope that B's family accepts her.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I want to say, though, is like Gwen she's made her bed. Now she has to lie in it. She doesn't want to be there. So it's like, I'm not going to feel bad for you.
That's true.
You know?
True. Okay.
And listen, this is someone who sits out of a lot of family activities. Me.
Yeah. She has Joe.
Don't feel bad for me. I'm excited not to be there.
Missing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know? Now, if my family was recording a reality show, is my ass going to be there? Oh, you know it. Oh, you know it. Time in front of a camera, I'm going to be there. Absolutely. But, you know, we don't all have the same priorities in life. Avalon has Peyton's number. And he's like, come here, Avalon. Come give me a high five. Give me that toy, Avalon. And she's like, fuck off.
She's like, I've heard that you slap girls.
Yeah. I heard that you're a slapper.
I don't want to be around you.
Just the way Peyton talks makes me nuts.
It is. It's Christine's enunciation.
Yes. But it's
but it's like Kody's words come out of his mouth.
Mother,
Kody's like,
just simply because we are observing, it does not mean that you cannot continue to fuck David, Mother. Like, shut the fuck up. Here's the thing, I can't fight, and then if I got in a fight with Peyton, he'd kick my ass. I'd love to fight him though, if I could.
I would agree. I'd like to kick him.
Yeah,
you know, I like to have fantasies about kicking people.
Yeah.
Mckelty.
Yeah,
I love the PDA mom.
I felt like she was like rubbing her clit.
I felt like she was like, love to see it, Mom. You should make out in front of us more.
Oh, Mama. Yes, I love PDA.
Me and Tony do nudie cuddles too. I love you guys doing nudie cuddles.
Oh, why don't we all do nudie cuddles right now, mama?
She's so weird.
Listen, I'm not a PDA person.
No,
you know?
and I also don't want to see my mom with her new boyfriend doing PDA.
I love
like,
to stick
so
my
weird.
dick inside you. That's great, but not like in front of people. You know, like that's a great feeling.
I feel
love
like Christine and David are like putting a blanket over the top of him, and she's like trying to rub him down. Like he's like, Truly's in the room. She's like, she can't see.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't pay attention to anything.
She's probably like, I imagine that she like sticks her hand in his pockets and is like, they're waiting in line at the Olive Garden Cheesecake Factory, and she's just like playing with his dick through his like pockets.
Probably.
You know?
So
and mind you, we all know those jeans are loose on him.
Yeah, they are.
They're barely hanging on. I
His
bet you
crack
too.
is already out the top.
I bet you too. You know how sometimes like a guy might stick his hand down a lady's pants?
Yeah.
She does that too.
I know. And it's like, it's sweaty.
You just, it's just like,
It's just gross.
We don't want you to.
Get your hand out of his Kirkland jeans right now.
I will say, now I thought when he showed up for the date, I was like, wow, he stepped it up. I think he went to Sears. But then I Googled, Kirkland does sell a leather jacket.
Oh, yeah.
So
sure. You can get everything you need at Costco.
He was wearing a better Kirkland jean though this time.
Yeah.
More fitted.
Yeah.
It was a darker wash.
It was a first date.
Yeah.
Well,
it's looking real good.
It wasn't his hangout jeans. It was his date jeans. He's got different ones.
I love too that Yelzbill's like, all right, I have to go to work. And then they keep talking. She's like, I went on a date with David and his kids and went to a chocolate factory. She's like, oh my God, that's so cute. And Mckelty's like, Jezebel said she needs to go.
That was her producer moment.
Okay.
I think Jezebel has to go to work. I think that's what she's saying, Mom. Shut up.
My favorite moment though of this, not the entire episode, because my favorite moments come with Kody later.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite moment in this entire scene though, is when they say that they're, Jezebel's like, Mom, I think you are moving kind of fast. And Mckelty's like, I proposed to Tony after 2 months, Oh,
where was that? Well, you're literally in
we
our
just
rewatch.
Watched it.
We're at their proposal, and I don't remember anything about her proposing to Tony.
But I love that Jezebel was like, I'm not talking about you right now. I'm talking about Mom. And it was like, that's what Mckelty and myself need to hear all the time. I'm not talking about you. Shut the fuck up. Stop making this about you, Mckelty.
Also, I feel like she made that up, don't you? Where was it?
Well, maybe
we have your whole life on film.
Yeah, you've never left anything out.
I don't know.
So I just love that Jezebel put her in her place. I didn't care about the 2 months part. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, Christine starts telling this story. And I decided I wanted to write it down word for word because I thought it was so beautiful and so moving. Right. And you're going to look, you don't need to read this. I just want to perform it for you. Okay. So Christine was like, oh, little British lady. She's like, we were there with his whole family and it was crazy. We were just surrounded by crazy. But we snuck off to the side and it was calm. It was calm. We were calm. We were so calm.
I feel like you're too quiet.
Well, that's how
I don't think it's going to translate.
That's how she's selling this. Okay. And she's like, and then he put his warm, manly hands down my panties and he started to finger my nether regions. And I started playing with his woolly mammoth and his cock was throbbing. And it was just so beautiful. And I realized like our hearts are syncing up. We're going to orgasm. We're going to sync up our orgasms together. And we are going to be forever. And she's like crying. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
He's my calm. He makes me calm. I've never been calm a day in my life. I was like, really?
I said at the beginning of this episode, I'm happy for them. But at the same time, shut the fuck up.
We're happy for you. That's it.
That's it.
And if you're really that happy, you can shut up about it.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Christine?
I felt calm.
She read 50 Shades of Grey before she started dating David.
I honestly feel like she what's that stupid show, Virgin River or whatever? That's like the,
the
worst.
Vampires?
Yes. Like that's what she's watching. She's watching just the dumbest shit thinking this is real life, Like I don't know why this came into my head, but I don't think Christine says to David that she farted. I think she says that she did like a fairy puff. Or something like that. And I don't know why. I don't know why that's what I'm thinking about right now, but that's what I think.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's like
watching her tear up telling this story and choke up. I was like, oh, shut up. It just drives me nuts.
It was. I'm like, okay, move on. Let's move on to Kody, but being delusional.
Please, let's get to something good. But instead we get David coming over for a date. Story. And when they show him pulling up in his truck and it says Christine's house, I'm like, is he pulling into a junkyard? There was so much shit
It's
out
production.
front.
That's the crazy thing, is that there's that many people there to film.
How many
this.
trucks and trailers do you need for an iPhone?
I know.
You
but
know?
they do.
Like, what are
I
we?
recognize the one car as a production car.
I know, I did too.
Yeah.
But I was just like, really?
Uh-huh.
Get this shit out of here.
He like could hardly scoot his truck through.
I love when Christine was like, when I was still with Kody, Nancy asked me to make a list of things that I would want in a spouse. And I realized afterwards, Cody's none of those things.
It was very Hannah from Love is Blind.
Yeah. He was absolutely none of those things. Now, one of those things on her list was enjoy spending time with my kids. He was none of those things.
Attracted to me.
None of those things.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, he was actually the worst. She's like, and I showed Kody the list and he was like, I'm none of those two.
And again, I do have to say, like, Aspen, yes. Mckelty, Peyton, Gwen, truly,
You get
no. Jezebel, yes. Like, I don't want to hang out with them
it.
either.
I know.
And honestly, it's like, this is so mean to say, but like, does she ever think about the fact that maybe
But
Kody
wouldn't you
looks
like to hang out with Peyton and Gwen over Aurora and Brianna?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. He's still choosing some kids.
No, here's the thing. Let me tell you.
No,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is I think that like when Kody looks at like Peyton or Mckelty, he's reminded of his failures in life. Because he's like, those are me. Those are a part of me. With Awowa and Brianna, he's like, well, I didn't make them. Like, I didn't contribute to why they're losers.
Their annoyingness is their father, who
Yes.
we don't speak of. We
Right.
erased him out of the memory.
But when he looks at Peyton, he's like, God, you got all the worst parts of me. I was
that would mean Kody was self-aware.
That's true. But I think he does look at Peyton and thinks, I failed. And he looks at Gwen, thinks the same. Mckelty,
you weren't
same
the
thing.
wrestler I wanted you to be.
No. That's why he didn't answer Gwen's call when she got hit by the car. He was like, another failure from Gwen.
If you didn't hear, Gwen got hit by a car on her bike.
Yes, on her bike. We don't know when. It could have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Don't think it was recent.
But Kody didn't come and Janelle did.
Yes. There's so much leather happening on this date.
Oh,
David's got
my
his
God.
leather jacket. He's got his good Kirkland jeans on. Then Christine answers the door in a leather skirt. She's got a leather jacket on and then like a sexy pantyhose.
Like lacy pantyhose.
And of
It's so
course, a
bad.
shoe that hits her in the wrong spot.
She loves a horrible shoe. How many times do I have to tell you? She loves
She
a terrible
loves
shoe.
a horrible shoe.
And how she opens it, I know if you're only listening, you can't see it, but
right.
biting
Biting
her
that
bottom lip like she thinks she's so sexy.
Hey, baby.
And she can't stop doing it. And this is what makes me think she like read some smut novels or something.
Yes.
And she's trying to like reenact it.
Okay.
And it's
and I don't even say
it's
this.
cringy.
I don't even say this as with offense.
Okay.
Okay. I'm saying this as like, this is just an observation.
Okay.
But when we used to watch Born This Way, Megan would do stuff like this. Like, it's like she would see it in movies and then she would
it's
try
like
to
she's
play it
playing
out.
a role. Like
Yes.
she's like, oh, like I watched a movie and now I'm gonna try to be the actress that's sexy.
Hey, baby, you want to come in side of me, baby?
So-
And then she's like, oh, let's kiss.
I want to, in that moment, I wanted to be like, oh, yeah, Jezebel's right. It's gross.
It is gross. It's like, no, mom, it's not
I can't hang out with you and
PDA. It's
David.
your PDA that is the
Yeah.
problem.
It's not, if you just did a simple kiss, it'd be fine.
And
But it's,
I guarantee you, Christine's like dry humping him on the couch.
I told you, she's got her hand under the blanket and is like totally trying to rub his dick and
Disgusting.
thinks no one can see.
Disgusting. It just, and then
I
it doesn't
felt-
get any better when
I
we
felt
go to
like
dinner.
hot, didn't you?
Yes.
Like I was feeling
Not-
like my face was flushed.
My penis, not that kind of hot.
No,
like just
no.
like
I
embarrassed.
was like so
hot.
embarrassed. I was like,
Yes.
she thinks she looks so hot and it's really, really not.
It didn't get any better when we went to dinner.
She keeps doing it. And
We're
she
at
looks
dinner
at him
and she
like
does like this one eyebrow raise and she's like, oh, baby.
puppy dog eyes.
She's trying to do sexy eyes, but I'm like, do you have to sneeze? Do you have allergies? Are you allergic to something in the food? Like, I'm like, what are you doing? You're not sexy at all.
He's like, does your lip hurt? Why are you biting it so much?
He's like, oh, did you get chapped lips with Peyton? She's like, no, I'm just being sexy.
I felt so much secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
It's like, how did David fall for
Now,
this?
did I want them to cut it out? Absolutely not.
No.
I wanted more.
Just like the kiss at their wedding when she like ate his whole face.
Oh,
yeah.
God. That was very much so a Duggar kiss.
What I was thinking though was like, you know what? David probably doesn't mind. He said he hadn't dated in like 12 years.
Well, he survived, and his wife left him with 8 kids.
and he
fucking
didn't get a drug
bitch.
problem. No,
He
but I was
didn't get
thinking, I don't think he's been fucked in 12 years. So I think he's fine with Christine.
There's no way. I think that he said, I tried dating him for a while.
You think
He's fucked.
Okay, all
Listen.
right. I was thinking maybe it's been a long
David
time.
is
so
a
he was-
professional drywaller. Drywalling is not, it's the best of both worlds, because to be able to drywall,
You have to be an artist.
you have to be a man. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
got to be able to put the thing on the wall, drill it in, but then you have to be an artiste. You have, I've seen a lot of bad drywall. We've had a lot of bad drywall done for us, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that David can fuck and like
Just really
please
get
you.
that plaster on perfect.
Yeah. So like the plaster, or what is it called? Drywall. The drywalling is what brings the ladies in. Like, he
Mhm.
goes to a woman's house, he's drywalling something. She's like, you're so strong. But then she sees his artistic side and she's like, I need you now inside of me, you know?
Honestly, Christine's probably so turned on by this because she's like, oh, Kody could never do an actual project.
No, he's a little bitch. And again, I can't do a project, you know?
Do we think David's still doing the drywalling? Like, if we lived in Utah and we needed a drywaller, would he do it?
Do you think that he would travel for drywall?
I don't know. I'm just like, how weird to have David show up at your house, like doing your drywall.
All of a sudden, all listeners are going to start poking holes in their house.
I was going to say, if there's anyone listening who lives in the area and they need drywall, try and reach out. Let us know.
Yes.
Let us know if he comes over.
And I tell you right now, his butt cracks out the whole time.
I also feel like David, yes, butt crack out, but I also feel like he would be a tea spiller. Like, I feel like you got him in your house and you were like, you're on that show. And he's like, oh, yeah. Tell you what he's doing now.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yes.
Because he's kind of I feel like he'd be oblivious to the fact that it would get around.
I also don't know if it's the beard, but I do know, with no backing this up, no real facts to back this up, but I do know that David was a closet smoker for some period of time.
Okay.
Don't know when, how, or
I
why.
went with the Harley.
But it just, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I know, like, Christine wanting the bald man,
Mm-hmm.
she absolutely snail trails his head. I know that's gross, but that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing there.
She's like, I never want to have to hold on to someone's curls again.
Yeah. She's just like, let me get that head nice and moist for you.
They are two peas in a pod, though. He cracks me up because he's such a simple man.
Yes.
You know, like, I feel like he's now like put into this reality TV show, but he's like, you make me so happy. Like, he's just like, so like, he's just like your average like Joe.
And I love too, like, Christine is so just starving for love that she's like, oh, he's such a wordsmith. And it cuts to him being like, you're really cool, Christine.
You're my unicorn, Christine.
Unicorn. Maybe I'm your burrito.
That term. If
Unicorn?
you ever call me your unicorn, I'm like, ooh,
Never call you
that
my
way.
fucking
It's
unicorn.
like a
First of all,
child's birthday
unicorn
party.
is, I think, you think of child's birthday party, I think of swingers.
Okay.
That's what I think of. But David said that he's her burrito. And she's like, whoa, a little inappropriate. And I was like, whoa, hang on a second.
I think he was saying, I stuff you with my burrito.
I was like, where's the burrito? What's happening? Where does the burrito
talking about his
you think he's got a thick dick that he stuffs her with?
Yeah, I think she's like, Kody was just a little taquito in my burrito.
He was a mini chimmy. I decided that I was like, you know what? Maybe there's something on Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
And I didn't find the right answer, but I did find something great.
I did look up F and F on Urban Dictionary.
Me too.
It's not a thing. Kody made that
I
up.
didn't Google it on Urban Dictionary. I Googled it. And it came up with some Reddits. A lot of people who have marriage problems were like, me and my spouse just like to fucking fight.
Okay.
And, you know, how do we get to...
It may be like a manosphere thing.
There's another F. It's
Okay.
fuck, fight, fawn.
Oh.
Fawn, I think, is what's missing for a lot of these people. They just fucking fight.
All right. I
Yeah.
tried to look it up and I wasn't coming up with anything.
You know,
Other
you
than
don't have the research
Something
skills
with
like I do.
finances. I'm like, that's not it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a term, though, on Urban Dictionary called throw a burrito.
Okay.
And I just wanted to share this because I thought it was beautiful. Throw a burrito means a limp penis engaging in intercourse. She was so ugly that he couldn't get hard. His only option was to throw a burrito at her. Beautiful.
I think David's gets hard.
Oh, yeah. No. Do we think David does a little pill?
Probably. I
think
mean,
so.
why not?
I think so.
You know, he's of an age. He's a boomer.
I feel like,
but he pleases her. You know, they have a good sex life. You can tell.
You know
They're
that
so obsessed with
I've
each other.
seen that like little. It's like it looks kind of like a little stool, and it's for women to sit on during sex.
I've never seen it.
It's like a it's like a stool type of thing, but it's got an opening where her crotch goes. So that she can like do like bounces like this, but not have to like, hurt her knees or her hips.
She didn't have to put a knee brace on.
Yes. And I'm telling you right now, Christine has ordered one of those.
I feel like they have like a sex couch in their room that they think looks like totally normal couch. And it's like, everybody knows what it is. She's like, that's my yoga couch. It's like, no, it's not.
They're doing all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, they are. I don't know that it'd be good.
And I don't know if maybe the burrito
standards
was like, his dick in her ass. Comes out with some beans.
Ew. He didn't say refried burrito. Gross.
Could come out with a pinto bean here. Maybe some corn in the burrito. Sorry.
Too far.
Apologies to everyone who
He's
turned
her
it off.
burrito, okay? They're happy. They're fucking.
He's not throwing her a burrito.
They're not fighting and fucking. They're just fucking.
They're fucking and fucking.
I don't know that it's good compared to other people's standards, but to them, it's the best they've both ever had.
To me, it feels a little dry.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's as great as they think it is, but they've both been deprived.
Yeah. And I feel like they're, they're
up for anything though.
Oh, for sure.
Don't you think? I think Christine's like, I'll try anything you want.
Anything.
But
There's a reason
he's
I
just
call
a
you my
simple
burrito.
man who likes Costco, so he's not doing anything too crazy.
Yeah. David. Beautiful man.
I could see Christine doing like a boudoir shoot for him.
Oh.
And she'd be like on a Harley in like lingerie.
Yeah.
That's probably a storyline for next season.
That's honestly, that was his groom's gift.
Yes.
She got him that.
She totally got him a boudoir book for their wedding that he opened and was like, oh.
I also think that on their wedding night, she had some interesting like waxing done. Like maybe a W for Wooly.
Like a Minnie Mouse.
What's wrong with us? Do you think that like we're seriously disturbed?
Yes.
Like, why is it like this is where our fucking mind goes?
Us and Truly.
God. Like there's just something so fucked up with us.
Really
and maybe no one else is laughing, but we are. Mm-hmm. We for sure
Sorry,
are.
We always take it there.
Unfortunately, though, guys, David is from Utah, and you can tell because for him, this is the real deal.
The real deal.
Real deal.
Real deal.
Christine is the real deal. I'm so excited for Christine to be my real deal. Hey, Christine, I was wondering, maybe you'd like to hop on this woolly mammoth and maybe we could get a couple of beans on it, Christine.
Okay, enough of that.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to North Carolina and do a puzzle with Janelle. That's honestly the best transition. Christine fucking to Janelle doing a puzzle.
So accurate. Janelle's
so
like,
accurate.
I'm happy just doing puzzles for the rest of my life.
I love
don't need to
Janelle's
find
like,
a man.
I'm not dating again. If it did, it'd have to happen organically. I'm not doing that shit.
She's like, I'm definitely not using her matchmaker credits. It didn't even work
Didn't
out for
even
her.
fucking work for her. You know what I'm saying? So Maddie, Caleb, Janelle, and the kids, they've decided they all want to build a house together. They want to find some property somewhere. They want to live like Three's Company situation.
I'm so glad that they're letting her live with them.
I am, but also I'm just like, I'm worried that Janelle's not going to do much then. Like, she ain't leaving the house.
No, she's definitely not dating.
No.
She's not going to bring a man back
She's not
going
to party. She's not going to have any friends.
I also appreciated that she was like, with all our money pulled together, we can get so much better. AKA, I have no money. Where did all our money go?
Caitlin, I did the math. Okay. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm saying this is not a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but
we also have to remember these people have been on TV on a like a big reality show
for like 36 years
for so long, so they should have billions by now.
I don't know, billions.
Look at how other reality
we've not
TV
been watching the
live.
Kardashians, but here's what I want to say is at her age, she's getting up there to like retirement times and stuff like that. So I did some math, and feel free to call me out because I don't consider myself to be a mathematician. But you can't call me out.
I'm not going to.
I'm
not going to do the math. I'm fully, it's fact
so
right now.
They bought the land for $820,000. Okay. Now, they didn't fully pay that off, obviously. But so let's say that Janelle got that, like her even share of that, which her name and Mary's name is off all of Coyote Pass now.
It is?
Yep. So they figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah, everything is owned by Kody Wynn Brown and Kody Wynn Brown, Robyn Brown.
Okay.
Robyn Alice Brown.
Yeah. Don't forget the Alice.
Sorry about that.
Okay, that's a new development.
Yes.
That's happened in the last few weeks, I think.
So all that's taken care of. But let's say they split that evenly, like the $820,000, because that's what they owe. And she's like, I need my money out of it. We're not selling it. You know, we're not selling it for a profit.
And she says she has the money for her part, but Kody doesn't have the money for his part.
Right. But let's just, you know, everyone walks away with their even share.
Okay.
She would have $205,000. Okay. Then I was like, oh, well, she also put money in for Robyn's house. Remember?
Yes.
And I'm assuming that we only put 20% down on Robyn's house. They were like bare minimum. That's all we're going to put down, which would have been, they bought it for, I don't know how much, but the 20% was $178,000.
Okay.
Divide that by 4 people.
Okay.
That's another $44,550 or $500. That, so total, I didn't add that up. It's $249,000.
Okay.
Wow, I did that
Good.
pretty quick. Pretty quick.
That's not that
enough.
much for someone who doesn't
She's like,
own a
everything,
house.
my savings, my retirement, my livelihood, everything's wrapped up in that.
And that's her, like, she doesn't have any assets.
No.
She doesn't have a house
She can't sell that apartment.
She has an RV maybe.
Okay.
But that's what, 60 grand maybe? Total. She's, where did her money go? She's been on TV selling. Cody stole it.
I know where
Cody
it went.
Stole it.
Her kitchen. It went in her fucking kitchen, and she spent all of it on appliances, just like Robyn said.
Oh, but she
did not prioritize her money like Robyn.
Robyn's right. She didn't prioritize her money. She gave it all to Kody and Robyn, apparently.
I do not understand.
And do you really think they're going to, I feel like they're going to give her the money from the land, but do you really think they're going to give her the money back from the down payment on the house?
Well, I don't know. I appreciated
that
Maddie was like, well, you know, I think you should still probably talk to a lawyer. She's like, oh, I will.
She's like, your dad just doesn't move fast, but like, I think he'll maybe go. Maddie's like,
And I also love too that Janelle was like, you know, I'm saying to him, like, why don't you take out a loan to pay me back? And I'm like, let's take out a loan to pay off another loan, like paying Peter to rob Paul or whatever the fuck that's robbing Peter to pay Paul.
That's what Kody does constantly, I believe.
That's all it is.
And
I'm like, why are you buying a brand new Mercedes convertible? Why did you buy your kids those
Cody's like truck and his convertible probably are how much Janelle has to her name. You know what I mean? Like his two assets.
Yeah.
And they have like 5 other cars and a house.
Honestly, Solomon's Lego set is worth more than what Janelle has coming her way. Yikes. I don't understand it.
And she's been living like she lived in the student housing. She got 40% off all these appliances.
Because at least with Mary lived large.
Yeah, she did.
You know?
And I feel like Mary has a lot more to her name.
Yeah.
And she has an asset. She has Lizzie's.
Yep.
Yeah. Yikes.
So she also has Worthy Up, Caitlin. That's a huge asset.
And Janelle was the one out of everyone who was like cutting corners, watching the finances, supposed to be working the finances. And it's like, you got robbed.
Next time that your spouse comes to you and says, hey, we really need to cut back in budget, what I want you to say to them is, look at fucking Janelle.
Look where she's at
when she cut corners. Sorry, I'm going to live my life the way I want. There's no reason to cut corners right now because
no budgeting.
Look where Janelle ended up. That's my advice for everyone.
Sad.
Isn't
it sad?
I'm like, that's not enough money.
No, not at all.
I think most people retire with like $1 million.
Yeah, you got to think about it. If she has to go to like a assisted living or something, it's like 30 grand a month.
I could be wrong. About how.
I hope you're wrong.
No, I don't think my math is
okay.
Wrong. I'm saying that maybe you don't have $1 million.
Oh, but probably to live comfortably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's like, girl.
But also, she's not just an average person. She's been on TV for the last 10 years of her life.
Yeah.
Exploited her whole family.
Yeah.
For $200,000.
Yeah.
You know, like she's not
almost
your
average, 300.
She's not your average Joe.
Right.
She should have money. She's never bought a house. She's never done anything that should have taken her money.
She bought a house in Vegas.
Yeah.
That she tried to sell herself.
7 years ago, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe my math is wrong. I don't think it is. Maybe you don't need $1 million to retire.
You may not need that, but like she doesn't have much.
No. It doesn't seem like enough.
No.
And Social Security is not kicking in for another like 10 years.
Also, so did we decide like in North Carolina, she doesn't have a house there. She just owns the land.
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know.
I feel like I've never seen her at a different house besides Maddie's.
Probably.
Okay. So she's
kind of a moocher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A little bit. I also am just putting this out there. I'm sure this is already a known fact, but the second her lease is up on this Flagstaff apartment, she's never going back there.
No.
She's a North Carolina girlie forever.
Forever,
Mhm.
which is so sad.
I know.
I'm not going to live in the same state as her anymore.
And if she comes back west, she's going to Vegas to visit the kids.
Yep.
Not Flagstaff.
Not coming to Flagstaff.
She's done.
All right, let's get to the best part of the
Okay.
entire episode.
All right.
The Kody and Meri sit down at her big empty house. Here's
in her banquet hall.
Here's a fun tidbit of information for you guys. Okay. This was filmed the day before they put their announcement up on Instagram saying that they're divorced. So I just find that to be very interesting.
Yes.
And so part of me is like, did they spend part of that time
for sure
talking about what they're going to say?
They didn't film that part.
They didn't film that part, but I wish they had. You know that it was like fighting and fucking over that statement.
One last
we were fighting and fucking over that statement. Kody shows up in his beautiful caramel
coat, leather
jacket,
coat.
leather.
I like that his gloves are always like work gloves, not like just snow gloves.
No, it looks like he's just been pilling logs by hand.
But he's not.
No!
He never does work.
He's not a handyman.
No,
he
not loves a handy glove.
Oh my goodness. And then he has the audacity to just walk right into Mary's house. And she like caught it before he swung it open like he normally does.
Sir, you don't live here anymore. First of all, you've never lived here.
You've never been here.
Do you think he ever spent the night at that house?
Never.
One time? Okay.
No, I don't think he has.
I feel like he went there like a total of 3 times and we saw every time on camera.
Well, one time was with Robyn.
Yeah.
And she said, cool ring.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe when she moved in.
Yeah. Probably had to help with the boxes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. He hasn't stayed here with her. He never had a coat in the closet.
When he is talking about this situation, he's like, listen, I'm not going to accuse Meri of gaslighting because I already did that to Janelle. But listen, is she just shoveling me bullshit all the time? Yeah, I'm like, that's gaslighting. Like, so you're just using a different phrase to do it. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to gaslight her, okay? But has she been shoveling me bullshit for our entire marriage? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Absolutely. Hate her.
Never know how Meri feels. I'm like, I think it's pretty obvious how Meri feels.
Meri wants to still be with you. Even in this moment, had he said, instead of saying, what, you want me to do, fake it? If he had said, what do you want to do, work on it some more? She would have been like, yes, please.
Caitlin.
I will.
Did you feel the like chemistry coming from Meri for him?
Yeah.
She wants him so fucking
She's never going to
bad.
be over him.
When she said, so he starts talking about the phone call he got from a special phone call from a special person.
He was so pissed.
So pissed.
I wanted to hear that phone conversation.
I would have loved
What did they
that.
say to him?
And who called? And how do they have his number?
Well, somebody posted about it. It was some girl. She posted on TikTok that her dad was the one that called. Yeah.
Prophet or whatever.
Yeah.
Ob.
Mm-hmm.
But then Mary's like, well, you know, he could have gotten in the car with me, rode up to the church with me. We could have spent some time together like the old days.
He could have been involved.
Could have been involved and we could have made a like fun weekend out of it, you know, but he decided not to.
One last fight and fuck.
Oh my God. She wants him so badly. She really does.
She really, really does.
And it's so sad to watch. I love too that she's like, Kody, yeah,
for him to say, why are you moving so fast on this?
Whoa, slow it down.
I told you 10 years ago I hated you and I never wanted to see you again. And now you're just pulling the rug out from under
nowhere. I told you I'd be willing to fake it. All right. I told you I was willing.
She's like, Kody.
And then he says that, well, what? Me saying I'm going to fake it, it doesn't mean I'm not open to working on it. I'm like, you told her I'm done. I would rather die than spend another day with you.
You're moving so fast, Meri. I have whiplash.
Poor Meri. Poor Meri. Now, the full line that we didn't know we got was, don't blame me for not loving you. I was doing my duty. Blame yourself if I don't love you.
Yes.
I was doing my duty.
I was doing my duty. And for him to say, I only, do things for a woman and I love them if they make me do it. They make me crazy about them.
Yes. And he's like, it's a woman's fault if I fall in love with her because you
want to buy her jewelry. I was like, Robyn's fault. You're buying her so much jewelry.
Groceries for. I'm like, you cannot tell me that this man has ever carried a grocery in.
No
He had
way.
25 million kids. Those kids were getting the groceries.
Dad's home. Hurry up. Get out
Peyton
there.
was going outside in Mary's heels trying to like hurry and get the groceries, you know? That's what he never brought groceries in.
Never.
No. And I feel like now they get groceries delivered.
Yeah, to their front door.
Yep. And then Areola brings
That's why
them
the
all
watermelon
in.
was on the floor, you know?
Yep.
Mhm.
Areola brings all the groceries in like in an iron cross.
One trip, Dad.
One trip, Daddy. Look at me go. Hey, Solly, here's your corn dogs, bitch.
It's Dayton's rent. He has to bring the groceries in to pay for his place out back. Dayton, groceries are here.
So
Time to do
Kody
your
says
job.
it's a woman's fault if I don't love you. And it's Mary's fault because, you know, I was doing my duty, never loved this bitch. And then I never loved her enough to serve her. Okay. And then everything I do is never enough. Why did he say it like that?
I don't know.
He was
hyped up in a lot of these interviews.
I
Did you
wish
notice?
I had never married you. And he's like choking
I
her
know.
in it. He had his hands in the full choke motion.
Oh, he is so confusing though, because he goes from like, I wish I'd never married you to like, you know, I hope Mary calls me up when there's funny things that happen or tell me a funny story. I want to
First
be
of all, you have to
friends with
unblock
her.
her.
I'm like,
The only reason you want to be friends with her is because you have no one else on your side.
This
You don't have
whole-
any allies.
this whole like, I want her to be friends because I don't want to have like the turmoil I have with Christine and Janelle. I'm like, you've hated Mary the most though.
Yeah.
Like you don't even consider her a friend. You haven't
Nope.
cared about her, but you want her to call you up. Like it's so strange to me. So there's a little bit of a theory that I heard from someone
Oh.
that he's so pissed about this, her calling the church, because he's still, even though he doesn't really like the religion,
Yeah.
he still wants to get into his celestial kingdom or whatever, and he needs 3 wives to do it.
Oh.
So I think that he's worried if Mary does this, that someone else will follow suit like Janelle, and he won't make it there.
Oh.
You know, he won't have the planet.
Shit.
Yeah.
He really believes it?
I think that in the back of his mind, he still maybe believes it.
Yikes.
He doesn't like it, but I think that's why he's so mad about this, because he's like, I could have faked it. I never want to talk to you, but I don't want you to be.
Don't you think that like the people who are doing the planet, building your planet for you, they can see like that you're
think
faking
so.
it?
I would think that it'd have to be like a full fellowship marriage
Yes.
for it to
I think you're
count
gonna
for
have
the
to fuck
planet.
her. You're gonna have to fight, fuck, and fawn. You're gonna have to do all 3
and
Fs.
carry her groceries.
And he sits there and he looks her like dead in the face. And he's like, you know, I stayed in this marriage, even though it was terrible. I stayed, you know, I did my duty. Okay. But this is where I get confused.
Was Mary that bad? Like,
Yes.
do we just think he's just this horrible now, or was she that bad? Because he doesn't really talk this bad about Christine and Janelle.
Well, this is what's confusing to me, though. He goes, you know, what was I supposed to do? I had this horrible marriage with Mary, and then I had this great marriage with Janelle, a great marriage with Christine. And then it's like, you know, and then I have Robyn come along and I've had the best marriage ever. And I'm like, wait a second.
Because he goes on to be like, well, I just thought marriage sucked. Basically,
My
He's like,
friends were always
I
bitching.
just thought that's how marriage was until I met Christine and or Janelle, and it was a little better. Then Christine, it was a little better than Robyn. Oh, wait a second. This is how it is.
But then he's like, there's no way in hell I want a relationship with Mary. No way in hell I want a relationship with Janelle. And I'm so grateful because Christine did me a favor by
She was so brave.
leaving me. I'm like, wait a second. Hang on. You just said you had great marriages when you're comparing it to Mary. And now you're saying you would not want anything to do with these women and you've never liked them. I feel like I'm being gaslit. I don't understand.
He talks in circles over and over again and nothing. I don't think he knows what he's saying, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think he knows what he believes. I think that's why he's rewriting history all the time, because he's like, wait a second. Okay, in this moment, I need to make it sound like I hate Christine. Oh,
Right.
wait. And then, but compared to Mary, Christine was great.
Yeah.
And then Christine being like, you know what? I get it now. Now that I've met David, I get how he felt with Robyn. And that's why, like, had he just been honest from the start, I feel like they all could have, like, unraveled this a little easier. And had he been like, I'm really sorry, but, like, I just feel like I have a soulmate in Robyn and I can't now love you guys the same.
I
Like,
have a theory that Kody and Robyn, they did not meet how they say they did.
okay.
I think somehow they crossed paths And then he said, well, why don't you go to this dance? I'll bring a wife with me and she can
Maybe
meet
he
you.
was already putting into Mary's head, like, we got to be on the prowl for someone.
Yes.
Kind of a thing.
And, you know, she was like, oh,
she was
fuck
hungry.
Yeah. Oh, God. I want to fucking
Or he was
fight.
like, you know, Mary, we're starting to slow down in our lives. Like, you should find me another wife. Remember, we always had a little fun once we got a third person in here.
Because we could fight and fuck some more, you know? Also, him doing his hand motions when he said him and Robyn have a deep emotional
deep connection.
Oh, God, it feels so good to do that, you know? And then he says, again, right to Mary's face, he's like, you know, it's not divorce that sucks. It's marrying the wrong person. And she's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking
I do.
At one point, I felt like she looked to producers like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to that?
She kept looking to them, and then at one point she goes, "Are we here to fight?" Like looking at them, like, "Is that why you brought him here for us to have a fight?"
Because I'll shut it down. I'll shut it down.
I felt like she was like, "You guys are organizing this little shindig, okay?
Yes.
Now, see how he's talking to me? Kick him out.
Get the fuck out of here." This is what I find so crazy. Meri and Kody, they got married 1 month to the day after I was born, and so. Think about think of all the things that I did in 32 years.
For a long time.
I mean, I learned how to shit in a toilet. I learned how to wipe my ass. And then I went to school. I got married. I had kids, you know, a lot happens in that time. And in that period of time, he's just like, yeah, I never fucking loved you.
That's a long
ass time.
I know. I do. I sort of do feel bad for Mary. As much as I don't like
you don't
her,
want
to.
This
is pretty horrible.
You don't want to, but.
And it's even more horrible, I think, because we can go back. We can watch from when Robyn came into the family and see that, he didn't hate all these people the way he's acting. But
that's where I'm like, okay, let's go with what Kody says. Is Kody just a car salesman? Was he selling all of America on this idea that their family was so happy, but really he was mad?
I guess so, but I don't think anyone else is clued into it.
Okay.
That's for sure.
It's just, it's so hard for us, you know. Think about how we've been affected by this. You know, obviously the family has struggled, but we have watched this family for so long. And have we ever really liked them? No.
No, but he's been gaslighting us the whole time.
Exactly. Where's our apology? Where's our fucking apology?
I know how Mary feels.
Yes. You know, and it's just.
He's lied to us.
He's lied to us. Mm-hmm. He's gaslit us.
He's gaslighting us. I was going to say gaslighting first.
Tell the world. I love, though. So, again, I know Mary still wants him. Mm-hmm. You can tell because she's like, you know, I'm in a good place with this, where we're at. Kody, he's still struggling.
I know.
Yeah, he sees this nice wide ass and he's like, girl, wish I could have some of that.
Also, Mary, you know how he said, at that wedding, people were trying to act like they were having more fun than me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Mary's trying to do, with her whole life.
We thought it was Christine. And
I think it's Mary.
Oh, it was Mary.
I feel like she's like, I don't even need you. I'm having so much fun. Look at these funny reels I'm making.
Oh my God, look at these. And it's
hilarious.
Mary, he has you blocked on Instagram.
He doesn't even go on Instagram.
I think he does.
He does? You think he looks at people?
Yeah.
Do you think he looks at the kids' Instagrams to see if they're talking about him?
No, I think he mostly watches people from the manosphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not checking the family's Instagrams.
No. But he has Mary blocked because he's sick. She always jumps in his DMs. He's like, God.
She's in his other request.
Yeah. The hidden request. But so Mary says this, and then she's like,
that's why he shadow banned himself.
Probably.
That's why we couldn't find him.
We forgot to tell everyone on here. Mm-hmm. Guys, we found him on Instagram. We're not blocked. It was just he's shadow banned. So you have to put in his full username as it is to find his page.
He did that to himself. So Mary couldn't find his page.
Yes. And we don't follow him. So it doesn't come up for us. You know, I'm not going to waste a follow on him.
Darn it. I thought I got blocked by the Kody.
So anyways, Mary says Kody's still struggling. And then she's like, sorry, Kody's not getting any details about my life. Okay. Because I'm not his wife anymore. And
she's like, he doesn't have to know about Christine's or Janelle's, and he's not going to know about mine. I'm like,
he's going to hate that. I'm like, Mary!
He doesn't care. He doesn't have details about your life in 10 years.
Mary, do you know that Kody doesn't give a shit? He does not give an absolute shit.
I know. She wants to believe he does.
It's so sad. She's like, oh, he's looking over here just like, oh, I bet you missed a piece of this meat, Kody.
So
Kody, you miss it. And then she's like, and you know what?
You don't get to know about my worthy up symposium.
And you know what, Kody? I'm not coming to Christmas. And he's like, well, I have one wife who tells me I have to invite Mary and I don't even want to. And she's like, oh, okay. And he's like, normally I would just disregard her opinion on everything. But this is one time I have to listen.
She's like, oh, yeah, disregard her opinion. He's like, you don't think I'm a man that controls everything.
You don't think I'm a man of my own mind? And again, this is where I feel like Mary was like, I mean, I know you're a man of your own mind, Kody. You're so strong. You're so strong, Kody. You're
Kody,
a big,
I love it when
bad
you're controlling.
boy. Oh, I want you to control me right now, Kody. I'm like, Mary, you're so desperate.
She really is. I'm like, Mary, you think you've worthied up, but you're not.
No,
you have not.
no.
You have not. You'd take him back in a second.
You've embarrassed down.
Mm-hmm.
Not even worthy down. Like, I'm just so embarrassed for her. And here's a little tidbit of information that not everyone knows. So this scene was filmed, okay? And word on the street is that it didn't seem so tense when the scene was done filming. Things seemed a little flirty. So was that the fight and fuck?
I don't think Kody. You couldn't pay Kody enough to fight and fuck.
No.
Mary.
But I feel like here's what I'm imagining.
Okay.
I imagine that Mary was like, "Oh, I know you're a man of your own mind," and then he was like, "Yeah,
you're
you
loyal.
do.
You're pretty loyal.
Pretty loyal. Fidelis. You're a little dog." And so like that's got him going. Where he didn't fuck her.
Okay.
I don't think he fucked her.
Okay.
No.
She was just like, oh, you looked at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I feel like he was kind of like, oh, I like hanging out with you, Mary. Yeah. Tell me I'm loyal. Yeah.
Tell me what else you like about me.
Mind.
Tell me you like my hair, huh?
She's like, oh, Kody, I would follow you anywhere. You're so smart and perfect in every single way. And you're right. You're right. Your kids are pieces of shit.
Mary needs another Tony Robbins retreat, I think.
To say the least.
It didn't work.
I bet you anything Mary's like, you know what, Kody, all your kids are wrong. Okay? Because look, they're mean to me too. I believe you. Those kids, fuck those kids.
I'm in the rumor mill as well.
Fuck those kids, Kody. Fuck them because I get it. You are such a good dad, Kody.
I can't believe, what did we do to these kids?
Why are these kids doing this to us?
We didn't do anything wrong.
When all of your kids hate you, you might want to look.
Be the problem.
You might want to look inward. So Mary's like, you know what, Kody? We're exes. Okay, you don't need to worry about me.
Do you want to write our divorce statement now?
You don't need to worry about me, Kody. And I'm like, he's not.
He's really not worried.
He wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire.
In years.
Nope.
He literally had to ask production how to get to your house, I'm sure.
But it was so sad when she's sitting there in that god awful striped sweater, whatever.
Oh my gosh, this wasn't on camera
not a
look.
good no. And she's like, I just wish you could see how amazing I am. Okay. Well, sorry, Mayor.
He didn't respond.
No. He wasn't like, oh, I know.
No.
I know you are.
He was like, yeah, maybe Amos will. Nope. Oh, poor Mary.
Poor Mary.
Yeah,
it really is just
it's embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah. He just fucking hates her so incredibly much. And it's just, and again, he was more sad about Cher and Sonny
and Cher
than his own divorces.
Yeah. He was more hyped up about the 80s Duran music than he was about his whole relationship with Mary.
Oh, God. Poor Mary.
It's sad. It's really sad.
We end their relationship with, I guess, happy life, happy journey.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage, Murray. And then he's like, I don't
really know how to end this.
Should I? Normally I just hang up on you and say I lost service.
Who ends a 30-year marriage with like bon voyage?
If anyone needs to do divorce cards, I think that's a good one.
Honestly, we should open a Hallmark store of like just
Kody cards.
Cody phrases. They're
Kody
so
cards,
romantic.
and the card is with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Don't anybody take it. We've already trademarked it. They're romantical. All right. And then he's like, I hope my hope for me and Mary is that one day, if anything cool's ever going on, she calls me up and tells me about it.
He's not going to answer a phone call.
No, I'm like, she's blocked, first of all.
And that's going to give her that one little shred of hope that she needed.
Here's what he really said.
Kody said I could call him when she sees this back. And then he's going to be like, why the fuck are you calling me?
The second like this minute shows up on TV, his phone's like, She's just sending all these
Kody, you
texts.
said anything cool? I wanted to tell you about
Oh my God,
Worthy Up.
I have Worthy Up Symposium. Jen opened a bike shop. Trevor's still only wearing hoodies. It's just everything. I did a video where toilet paper fell from the sky.
I did These Hoes Ain't Loyal video.
Oh my God,
it's so
Kody,
funny, Kody. Have you
there's
seen
so
it?
much cool going on. I cheersed with my girls at Christmas.
I met with a matchmaker. I've had a boyfriend, Kody, but we broke up, so there's still room for you to come back.
So here's what I really think Kody meant by this. He meant, you know, I hope if Mary ever hears any gossip about me, she calls and tells me so I know who's not loyal.
I think he meant, hey, if Mary makes it big on this Worthy Up, hope she calls me up to put some money back in my bank account.
You know, Mary, you mind putting some money on my card?
Christmas gift, Mary?
Mailbox money, Mary, please, you know? I don't want to feel bad for Mary because I do remember that she's a piece of shit during the catfishing time.
Mm-hmm.
And really, like, you know, she did cheat on Kody.
I know. She's looking for an affair, but she, honestly, forgive her for that.
I guess
Don't you? I mean, wouldn't you want to have an affair if your husband never came over to your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
sure.
honestly, it's Cody's fault, just like everything.
Right. So I do feel bad for Mary. I'm very happy for David and Christine. It's just disgusting
I'm happy
to
for
watch.
them too. I just don't need to see her bite her lip again.
I do. I just want to watch her like be so sexy. And
when she sees it back on TV, is she a little embarrassed? Is she like, oh, that didn't turn out as sexy as I thought? Or is she like,
no, she's like, oh my God,
like,
the
look how
chemistry.
hot we
I
are.
honestly feel like
flying.
Truly is watching it with them and they just start fucking. And they're like, Truly, you got to go. Get out of here. Look how hot we are. Oh my God, David, you look so hot.
They start the heavy petting.
Your eyes are so beautiful, David. Your bald head, I just want to put a snail trail on it so bad.
Oh, buckle up because we're going to get more.
Oh, I'm excited.
Look at their
for that.
whole relationship.
This is disgusting to say. Okay, but I feel like because Christine has been so sheltered sexually, I feel like I imagine the first time they had sex, like she put on a little sexy negligee, you know, came out into the room or whatever. It's completely see-through. She has nothing on underneath, not even a peony. They start doing stuff, you know, but I feel like she didn't know that, like, you don't just shave the front yard. I feel like the backyard was much like, you know, their backyards in Vegas.
Full of weeds.
Full of weeds. I'm just going to leave everyone with that image.
Gross.
I don't know why, but that is where my head is at right now. And I feel like he was like, oh, okay. You know, like he got her in doggy style and he was just like, whoa. Yikes.
He's like, I'm just a simple guy who likes it natural. I don't care. I don't like all this pube shaving that people are doing. These days.
know, listen, you can get a stick razor in a bulk pack from Costco. Okay, so
they've got the Venus there.
Christine, if you want the Venus, they've got it available at Costco. I can get it for you.
Now he's an old man.
Yeah, I can't quite nail that down.
Oh boy.
But you know what I will say? I think I did nail Peyton down this episode.
You got Peyton.
I got Peyton pretty damn good.
I hope to not see him for a while.
Please, in that fucking mohawk.
Unless we see him at his job at the strip club.
And I'm
willing to have that.
If production's listening.
If Mckelty production is here.
Please
pitch
away.
That idea.
Please go away. Please stop putting yourselves front and center.
Less Mckelty and Tony.
Honestly,
more Peyton at the
I do feel like Mckelty's a producer and she's doing exactly what I would do if I was on screen talent and a producer. I'd be producing every scene around myself. And they're like, dude, you're a fucking background character. You're nobody. And I'm like, well, you know what? You don't know.
There's nothing happening, so I have to bring it.
I got to bring it and I will. They're like, no one even knows who you are. I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, honey. All right. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, go and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, I've seen some of your mean comments. You're not listening. We say every week, we do not want constructive criticism. We do not want to look inward. We want to go through life as though we are Kody Brown.
We want to be oblivious.
Oblivious to it all.
It says more about you that you took the time to watch and then leave a mean comment. That's kind of Mary behavior.
That's not worthy of behavior. All right. If you did enjoy this, though, go join us on Patreon, patreon.com/sisterwivestalk, where we do this bullshit 5 days a week, but it's even grosser, even nastier, even more vile,
shows,
even more shows.
fun.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that too. That too.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure they know where we're at. You know, like don't join thinking like, oh, it's gonna be sunshine.
It's gonna just be like a super PC over there.
No, it's less
it's
PC.
not.
It's not PC at all. So that's that. Bon voyage to all. Good luck with your
Good luck with your life.
Good luck on life and have a great journey.
Let's shake on 30 years.
Splish splash. We're all trash.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.